All right, so it feels good to really get back to game week here. We've had the last couple weekends. We've had some really good weekends. With recruiting and hosting official visits. Been on the road back and forth, but certainly still getting work in with our team. And the practices that we've been able to get in have been really good for us. Some of these older guys able to rest them up a little bit, get them a little bit healthier, and definitely good to see the development that some of these younger guys have made. Guys that we're really excited about moving forward. For all of us, coaches, players, everybody, it's time to turn the page now to getting ready for a game week and the focus and intensity that goes back with that. And, I think on the back half of that year, the last couple of weeks, truthfully, I thought we prepared and practiced with the focus and intent that it takes to play really well. And we've probably played our best ball the last two games of the year. So for us, how much better can we do it right here going into this bowl game? Certainly getting ready to play a really good Jacksonville State team. They've won 17 games in the last 2 years. You don't do that by accident. They're very well coached. They're aggressive in everything that they do. And their kids, they play hard, man. I mean, they're a good football team. They're in the right spots. They play hard. They're a physical football team. So, we've certainly got to have our best effort moving forward every day this week leading up to this game, because you're playing a darn good football team right here.
What specifically does Jacksonville State do that could create you problems?
Well, they run. I mean, they've run the ball they run for 230 something yards a game. They've got a big long offensive line. They've got an electric running back. Quarterback's a really good runner. But they've got some size on the outside. They've got a slot receiver who does a really good job with the ball. So, I mean, they're not a one-trick pony. I mean, they're going to run the ball first, and they do a really good job of that. And they have a lot of different people that can carry that load. Defensively, I mean, they're giving up only 20 points a game this year. They're very aggressive on defense in the way that they play. I think their defensive coordinator. We've actually played against him a few years back. He does a really good job. He very unique in the way that they do things. They're not in one spot. They don't just line up. He's got a lot of flex players that play multiple positions. Maybe it's linebacker and the middle safety back there. Maybe it's middle safety and high safety. They've got DNs that'll line up at linebacker at times, and there's a lot of position flexibility in there, so it makes it hard sometimes to identify kind of who's where and what they're doing. They do a really good job on special teams. Their kids play extremely hard. They've got good ball players, obviously, and they're sound in everything that they do. So they do a lot of things. I mean, I think Coach Rodriguez, it speaks for himself, the job that he's done over decades in college football. And to do what he's done in 2 years there, I mean, it's not really a surprise, with as much success as he's had. So for us, yeah, there's a lot of challenges in there, I think, schematically, personnel-wise, and really kind of everything in between.
The two quarterback system, like, how does it work? It seems like they played two quarterback quite a bit. They both played in like 11 games, and they both run and throw. So how does it?
I guess that's a question for him.
But not why, but what have you seen? Like, how do they kind of utilize?
I think they're both good players, and quarterback's a tough position because that's the only one, where anytime you put a different guy in there, everybody in the stadium wants to know why, right? Everybody's so against these, playing more than one quarterback. They've got two good ones, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say the Smothers kid is the one. I want to say he transferred in, so they probably see him as the future next year, and he's getting valuable experience, and they're winning games doing it. So I think they both have skill sets that fit that offense. They both run it, they both throw it. It's not like one's a wildcat guy, and then they've got a senior who's won games for them. So they probably feel like that's the way for them to transition into next year. But they both do a good job. There's not much drop off there.
But any drive, it could be either one. There's not like a pattern that y'all know.
Not that I've noticed, not to this point.
How much can the rest mentally and physically, since y'all last played before the bowl game is played, could help in the run defense, do you think?
Well, you hope a lot, because I think that's the thing that, we know exactly what, we know what they're going to come in here and want to do. I mean, and that's, if I was on the other side of it, I'd say the same thing. So we've got to do we've got to be prepared for that type of game. And at times, I think earlier in the year, we were a little bit better against the run, truthfully. And as time's going on, I don't know if it's fatigue. We've got some guys that have lost a little bit of weight throughout the year, which plays into it. But we've continued to play a lot of guys, so it's not like it's kind of hard to put your finger on a little bit, but certainly, we need to be healthy. We need to be firing on all cylinders up front, and at linebacker, because it's going to be that type of game, and that's we know that. Now they do play with tempo. It's not like they just going to line up in 3 yards cloud of dust type of deal. I mean, they're going to play with tempo, and they're going to put you in some tough spots formationally, and the tempo they play with. So you got to be able to handle that, but you still got to be able to get your cleats screwed in the ground and got to be able to strike and take on blocks and get off of blocks. So we have a challenge in front of us. And I think at times in the last game against Monroe, we did play well against the run. We had a couple drives where we didn't. Against these guys, you can't. It's got to be 4 quarters of it, and it's got to be. I think more than anything, when we play with really good technique and we strike and we use our hands and we're screwed in the ground and we all on the same page, I think we've shown, we stop the run just fine. It's when you have a lapse of focus for a drive or you're not lined up, you're having a hard time adjusting to the tempo. That's when we've struggled throughout the year. And those things snowball a little bit. When you have a drive that's like that, then it kind of turns into 2, and that's what you can't have happen. You got to make the adjustments, get it fixed, and let one drive be one drive, and then get on to the next one a little bit. So it's very important. Right now, knock on wood, we are, in pretty good shape here injury wise. We're trying to get some of the, Landon Burton is a guy that we're hopeful for this game. AJ Gilly was banged up a little bit after the last game, but he's been practicing the last few days, so he'll be good to go, which is good. So yeah, it's always important. You want to have everybody, firing on all cylinders whenever you play a team like this.
Des, do you talk to your guys about, I guess, your opponent's kind of motivation coming into Saturday because it's their program's first bowl game appearance? Obviously, they'll probably want to, want to win. So is that something that you just talk to the guys about in terms of maybe just like kind of matching intensity and energy and things?
Well, I think if we've got to match someone's intensity, then you're probably going to have a problem. I mean, this is a game that we're excited to play into. It's hard to win college football games, and our season, where you get off to the start and you feel like you're about to roll through, and then you have some adversity hit you, and then you've got to, get back to back, and you got to find a way to get in and do those things. Our kids have worked really hard to get to this point, so they're excited about the opportunity to play too. Certainly they will be as well. But that's what bowl games are supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that you earn, and it's something that I mean, when you sign and you go play college football somewhere, you dream about having a chance to win championships, right? And a bowl championship is still a big deal. It always will be to us. And so for us, if we've got to worry about our motivation, then that's going to be a problem.
So this is where you came in 2 years ago. Can you talk about where the program is? You got a demolition crew out there tearing down the stadium. Where do you think the program was when you stepped in, and how it's grown and where it may be here moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever I got the job, I don't know if anyone could have predicted probably the transitions and things that were going to take place after that. That was kind of right on the front end of the portal plus NIL and all those things, and I never made a big deal about it before because people don't really care to hear it. But we had 45 scholarship players that played on that team in 2021 that could not play for us for one reason or another, or did not play for us for one reason or another in 22. So it turned into a program that we had to build the way that we wanted to, the way that I wanted to. And we did that by signing really good high school football players. We filled it in with transfers and junior college and portal guys as needed. And truthfully, I knew that the first year and even potentially this year, we'd have some ups and downs with it. But I've never been more excited about our team and where we're going than I am right now. We've put together a couple of really good signing classes, and this one's coming together pretty good too. We're filling needs, with older guys that leave as necessary. And we're going to work really hard to do that. But we know what we've got coming back with this team. and just to see the way they've battled through. I mean, you go through. I mean, the middle of the year, it's there's so many things that go on. I know the resolve that this team has and the resilience. So I'm thrilled about where we're going on the field. I think we've told our players this. When you have an opportunity to be a part of a stadium renovation and a stadium being completely rebuilt, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. That stadium was there for 52 years. And our guys get to be a part of the new Cajun Field, and they get to be the future of what UL football is and what Raging Cajun football and the culture is all about. So it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it's something that I see as very special. We've talked to our players about how important this time in our program's history is, and like I said, I mean, I knew whenever we got to January of 2022, I knew that the challenges that were coming for us. But I made a decision in the way that I wanted to build our program to where I knew going into year 3, I knew the way that we could feel about it and where we would be. And I'm as excited as ever about our team and about what's coming for us.
Got time for a couple more?
Coach, do you anticipate that everybody is playing for the bowl game, or is there any guys that are opting out to prepare for the draft or anything like that? Everybody's allowed to play.
We haven't had anyone opt out. We have had, Nathan Thomas had to have an off-season surgery, so he won't be available for the game, which is something that we knew throughout the year that was probably going to happen. He played for us. He played for us all year on a knee that needed to be repaired at the end of the year. So to say he did his part for our program is an understatement. So we encouraged him to have the procedure done so that he would be ready for his Senior Bowl, which is going to be critical for him. He wanted to play in the game. The timing just didn't work. So, the few weeks that he would be out would not allow him to be prepared for that. And so Nathan has gone above and beyond for what our program has asked him to do. So we supported him in that, and he will be in New Orleans with us. He'll be a part of the team. He just won't be able to participate because he's coming off of a procedure.
Coach, is there? I know fans get real kind of bored, I guess, and so
Do they?
yeah. But everybody's New Orleans Bowl. How does that affect the team? Does that affect the team, or is it more of a situation where we get to play in the game? Whatever happens outside the lines, we're not worried about.
Well, I'll start with this. If any of our board fans went to Shreveport last year, they'll be happy to have their asses in the Superdome this year. Okay, so that's number one. They might, yeah. No, I mean, look, the reality of it is we can only control what happens between the white lines, and our job is to play good football and to win games, and that's what we try to do every week. The other stuff is stuff that we can't control. Our players are excited to play in it. We as a coaching staff, we're excited. The New Orleans Bowl puts on a great event. It is an experience for our players from Tuesday when they get there until Saturday, Sunday morning whenever we leave. So it's a great experience, and it's a great venue. Every kid that grows up in Louisiana dreams of playing in the Superdome. Okay, every state, well, not every, I guess, but state championships from the time that you're a kid, you expect to play in the Superdome, and thank God they've gotten that figured out where it is there. That's what you dream of as a kid in Louisiana. I remember in my high school locker room, we had a picture of the Superdome on the wall. Like, that's every year what you're trying to play in. And for our players, it's a great venue. I mean, you get to play in an NFL stadium, in a dome. The Superdome makes it available for us to practice in, and they do it the right way for us. So it's nothing but positive for us. All of our players, we recruit, our footprint is, about 4.5 hours. So 95% of our team, their folks are going to be able to drive over there and go watch them play in this game. That's important. And, so hopefully our fans are excited about it. But our job is to worry about preparing to go win that game. And, I kind of answered a question earlier. Our excitement level should not be a question because of the fact that we're playing in a bowl game, the 6th in a row. We're playing in New Orleans, in the Superdome, NFL Stadium, and we're playing for a bowl championship, which is something that we every year have as a goal. So we're excited as can be about it. And, our kids, truthfully, they're probably excited about they got a little bit longer break after it's over. So, that works out.
Coach, who is the left tackle now without Nate? And the depth that obviously you're going to be at least one short at linebacker. So talk about Caleb, and some of the young linebackers how they play.
So Brian Williams and King McGowan are going to play at left tackle. King's played a lot for us this year, done a great job. Brian's a guy who I think the sky's the limit for him and his potential. And Nate's first start happened in New Orleans too. I don't know if y'all remember that. So, his first game was in the New Orleans Superdome. We played in the New Orleans Bowl. So, Brian's going to get a bunch of opportunity to play. It's going to be good for him. For us at linebacker, yeah, you got Casey and Caleb who've played a lot, and those guys are going to play really well for us. Jasper, he's been in the mix all year. He's played really well for us. So you got three guys, kind of those two inside spots. We'll be good. Those guys are going to go. They're going to play well. Caleb Cabote's played well at times this year for us, so he's going to get some more opportunity to do it. You go out. Look, we've been all year. We haven't had the same starting lineup since week 1. So, it's been somebody every step of the way. So it's just part of the game. It's the nature of it. And we're going to prepare the guys that are with our team, that are playing in this game, to go out there and go play well. And I can promise you, Jacksonville State don't much care about the problems we got. So we're we're going to focus on the guys that we do have, and we're going to get them to play well, and they'll do that for us.
Coach, I know you're locked on the bowl game week, but just playing here in Cajun Field, seeing the demolition coming down, how's that been for you?
It's pretty cool that it's we've hosted official visits the last couple weekends, and we've talked about the direction that the program and our university is going. And I tell them, in this recruiting thing, people say a lot of stuff. Well, this is real. When they start tearing things down, they got chunks of the stadium coming off. It's real, and it's happening, and it's something that it's monumental. For our program, it's going to be a first class venue. It's going to completely change. It's going to completely change the dynamics of a game day environment. It's going to change the game day experience for thousands of people, and the things that they're going to be able to access in that stadium. So, we sell the heck out of it. We've been talking about this stadium for 2 years with these recruiting classes, and fortunately, us starting it now says that I tell the truth and I'm not lying. So that's a good thing. But no, it's exciting. I probably won't be out there to watch it come down because I got a lot of work to do. But I know that this is something that's huge for our program, and we're excited to get to be in the position that we're in as players, as coaches, and our staff to be a part of this transition. It's once in a lifetime, and it's something that we're excited to be a part of it.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you, guys.